Chapter 11: The Last Contact. He reached the edge of the forest, where the outsiders held their observation posts. The wind stirred the leaves, but the city's hum faded with each step. There were no lines, no checkpoints, only living trails, barely visible in the morning mist. She waited for him. That gaze, calm yet sharp as a blade. Not a greeting, but a test. "You took the step," she said. "Does the system see it?" He remained silent. Not out of fear, but because he understood. Words were meaningless here. "It knows," she continued softly. "And we will have to decide." For the first time, he realized the cost of all his small questions and actions. Every choice, every movement, a chain impossible to break without loss. "Do you think we can defeat it?" he asked. She looked toward the horizon, where the city shimmered in the distance like a living organism. "No," she replied. "But we can leave a mark. We can show others that there is a chance. Even if it's small." He understood that freedom is not measured by strength, but by the resolve poured into each step. "Then I am with you," he said finally. "Even if it is just the beginning." And together they stepped into the forest, into a zone where the system could no longer keep them within bounds. Silence embraced them, cold and soft at once, and for the first time in years, he felt not fear, but responsibility. Yet this was only the first step on a path where the cost would be too high, and the outcome, unknown. Chapter 12: Illusion and Darkness. They walked through the forest, silence wrapping around them like a blanket, but he felt its weight. Every step was a decision, every movement, a challenge. "We can't stay here forever," she said quietly. "Sooner or later they will find us. And it will not be an easy test." He nodded. Now he knew the cost of his small steps, the cost of initiative that cannot be undone. He understood. Freedom is not victory, it is a risk that always leaves a mark. The city's light appeared through the trees, flickering like a living eye. They took only a few more steps and saw the drones. Not one, not two, a line of observation, cold and merciless. "We have to move," she said, clenching her fists. "But I fear this might be the end for us." He looked at the city and the line he had first seen as a child, when he realized the world was divided into the right and the expendable. And suddenly he understood. His journey had never been about victory. It had been about choice. The system moved, cold, unchanging. The outsiders prepared, but their strength was limited. He exhaled, and for the first time since he was born, he felt something like peace. Silence, not absence of sound, but acceptance of the inevitable. "We go," he said quietly. "And let the cost be ours, not someone else's." And they stepped into the line of lights. The system noticed them. Drones activated. Hearts beat faster. But no screams, no protest, only resolve. And in that resolve, there was more than fear. It was the first act of initiative the system could not account for. Not victory. Not complete freedom. But it was freedom of choice, and that remained human. And even if the outcome would be tragic, he knew he had taken the step himself, without protocol guidance, without instructions. Chapter 13: Consequences of Choice. A month had passed. The city remained cold, perfect, without a trace of their intrusion. Yet the forest and surrounding fields had changed. Minor network glitches, unusual drone movements, whispers of silhouettes at the borders, all of it sparked a living momentum that could not be explained by protocols alone. The outsiders, and the few who had awakened from the system's illusion, began to act more boldly. Their moves were cautious but deliberate. Hidden operations, small acts of sabotage, information gathering. Each initiative echoed their sacrifice, a memory that freedom was possible, even if the cost had been too high. He and she were no longer among the living. Their absence became a symbol. a sacrifice for the possibility of choice that inspired those still alive. Their names were whispered around fires and at the forest's edge. At the edge of the forest stood a young outsider, witnessing the consequences of their sacrifice. He realized, freedom does not come through victory, but through a chain of small, courageous decisions. Every step mattered. And even if tomorrow brings a cost, today the world had already changed. Their choice had become the beginning of a new line of resistance.